On this episode of China Uncensored, the Chinese regime wants to stop rich people from moving their money out of China. I'm sure they'll listen. I mean, after all, they got rich in communist China by always following the rules. Hi, welcome back to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. China is home to more than 1 million millionaires, which is odd for a communist country. I guess you'd call it communism light, or maybe socialism with benefits. Well, one of the most popular activities for Chinese millionaires is getting their money the feng shui out of China. Money is flowing out of China on the scale of several $100 billion a year, and China's authorities are scared. It could hurt their economy. Plus, all the millionaires now have less money left to bribe them with. So a few years ago, the Chinese government passed a law. A Chinese citizen is only allowed to transfer the equivalent of $50,000 US out of China each year. $50,000? That's not even enough to buy a single diamond-encrusted bathtub for your puppy. So it should be no surprise that China's wealthy have come up with ingenious ways of getting large sums of money out of China without technically breaking the law, or at least without getting caught. A lot of millionaires launder money through casinos in Macau. But after that terrible typhoon flooded the city back in August, a lot of them might be looking for new ways to launder their money without getting it wet. Which is why I've compiled this helpful list of 5 additional ways Chinese elite can get their money out of China. Number 5, smurfing. It's named after the little blue cartoon creatures that demonstrate the value of teamwork. Like when all the Smurfs got together to kill Gargamel and bury his body. Or was that fan fiction? Well, this kind of smurfing refers to using teamwork to get money out of China. If a rich person wants to transfer more than $50,000, he can smurf it by getting a group of family and friends together, and they each individually transfer $50,000 into his overseas bank account. Where did those family and friends each get their $50,000? How the smurf should I know? Number 4, returning merchandise. You can only transfer $50,000, but you can still buy as much junk as you want when you travel overseas. So let's say a Chinese tourist visits Paris. He can take his Chinese debit card and buy, say, a $20,000 Rolex, and then immediately return that Rolex to the store for cash, minus a small service fee. Thanks to that Rolex, he's just gotten foreign currency without technically touching his $50,000 quota. The only downside is, now he has no idea what time it is. The Chinese government eventually caught on to this, though. Now they're monitoring all overseas debit card transactions of more than $150. That should put a stop to it. Unless, instead of buying a single $20,000 Rolex, he buys 500 individually wrapped plastic Casio watches. That could work, people. Number 3, underground banks. Carrying a briefcase full of Mao money across the border may work in movies, but like most things you see in the movies, it's a stupid idea in real life. Like building a baseball diamond in a cornfield and hoping dead guys will show up. But there's a smarter way to carry money across the Chinese border that doesn't require a suspicious briefcase. A paper check. Fortunately, there are underground banks in China that would be happy to provide this service for you. There's lots of them. They're part of that shadow banking system you hear about. So you go to one of these shady underground banks and give them your Chinese money. They reach out to a shady bank in Hong Kong and then use that bank to write you a check in foreign currency. Now, all you have to do is take that check, put it in your pocket, and walk across the border to Hong Kong, and then cash that check at a legitimate shady bank, like Citibank. Hong Kong is legally separate from the rest of China, so those pesky currency rules don't apply there. Is this method of getting money out of China legal? Well, technically, you weren't the one who transferred Chinese currency into foreign currency, so sure, probably. Maybe. Number 2, Hong Kong money changers. When I was in Hong Kong last year, I saw tons of money change shops like this one. At first, I wondered how there could be so many of these just for exchanging currency for tourists. Well, it turns out they have a more lucrative business model on the side. Fuki Seeds. Just kidding. The side business is helping rich people move money out of China. It works like this. You, a Chinese millionaire, travel across the border to Hong Kong and set up a normal bank account at, say, Citibank. Set up the account in US dollars. Then, you go to a money change shop. The money changer will give you a bank account number at their bank inside China. Then you call your own bank inside China and have them wire transfer your money over to the money changer's bank account. That money is still in yuan, and it stays in China. But a couple hours later, after the wire transfer is confirmed, the money changer will deposit an equivalent amount of US dollars into your Hong Kong account, minus a small fee. This may sound sketchy, but it's technically legal because no money ever crosses the border. You've just got to trust them that they're going to give you your money after that first transfer. It's like when a tourist visiting New York asks a local to take a photo of her and hands him her expensive camera. It's all about trust. And number 1, expensive art. For the truly en vogue Chinese elite, the best way to legally move large amounts of money out of China is with expensive art. Buy an expensive piece of art in China. For example, this ink splatter painting by modern artist Hua Tunan. What's it worth? $10 maybe? But with the frame, 10 million. So you, the en vogue Chinese millionaire, take your Chinese money and buy this expensive piece of art / crime scene photo. Then you pack it up and take it with you to the land of art aficionados, America, where you sell your painting / handkerchief from a coal miner to an American collector for US dollars. He can hang it on his wall next to his Velvet Elvis painting. Just make sure you sold him the original and not accidentally a placemat from Applebee's. And ta-da! You've just gotten cash in a foreign currency without moving any money across the border. And hey, don't stop at paintings. You could probably sell Americans all sorts of objects at inflated prices. Statues, ceramics, the beard of a Taoist master ground up with rhino horn powder and melamine. So between these 5 methods, plus a bunch of others that I haven't even mentioned, China's wealthy have no problem getting their money out of China on a large scale. No one knows exactly how many millionaires are transferring money like this, since keeping it secret is kind of the point. But next time you see a Chinese guy in a suit walking down 5th Avenue with an ugly painting and 500 Casio watches, you've found your man. So if you were a Chinese millionaire, which method would you use? Leave your comments below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time. Thanks for watching, and if you are a Chinese millionaire, the best way to make sure you keep getting episodes like this is to support China Uncensored with your money. Money that I assume is about to be transferred safely out of China. You're welcome.